Hello and welcome to a Channel 2012 first try walkthrough video. Today on the computer we have loaded up Robot Arena. Just a little background before we get started. Robot Arena came out in around the year 2001. It was released for Windows, and today I'm going to be firing up the game, starting a new player, and showing you how to win on your first try. We got a lot to cover, so let's get started right away. Here's the main menu. On the left here you have your player login. Before you start, you'll choose a user account that'll basically keep track of all your robots, your career progress, and your money. The object of the game in the single player campaign mode is to defeat all 10 sets of the computer's robots in their preset arenas. That'll be covered when we get into the arena later on. Here on the side we've got fun stuff like options. Not a whole lot to look at under here. You have help, tells you how to play. Anyway, let's get started. Before you begin, you'll need to dive into the bot lab. That's your robot manager. When you start a new account, the computer will start you out with a robot called default bot and $1,000 to work with. You can make as many robots as you want. You can also delete them, reset your account to defaults, and fun stuff like that. I'll get started by editing the default robot. This is the bot lab screen where you actually edit the robot. As you can see here, it's all divided into clusters of stuff that make things a little easier to set up. Up here you have your cache available. Over here you have the stuff you can actually add to make a robot. First you'll choose a chassis, armor, mobility, weapons, and finally accessories for your robot. Down here you have a list of your components below your robot's name. Speaking of which, we'll go ahead and give our robot a name right now. To personalize it, I'm going to name it Default Boot. Over here you just have some basic statistics about your robot's power and its weight level. You also have a few options here for help in case you get stuck. You have an option to revert to your last save point, and you have an option to save your robot. When you build a robot in Robot Arena, you basically go through these categories in order to put stuff together. It's kind of a cookie cutter, set it up type of thing. It makes it relatively easy for you. It has little question marks. You can learn little tidbits about what makes each component unique. The key to winning the campaign in this game is to start by actually defeating the first tournament level and then using custom challenges to get yourself up to around $15,000 to $20,000, and then finish building out your robot to a point where you can basically defeat all the other players as well. Defeating the first level is very, very easy, and what I'm about to show you may sound a little counterintuitive, but I promise you this is the way to go. You start with one of those chassis. You don't need to put any armor on it right now because you won't be able to afford it. At this point you'll start by putting on some 12-inch rubber wheels since they're the fastest. You can skip the weapons tab for now. All you really need is a CL3 super battery. From here you can use the remaining $20 to customize the vehicle to your liking. Since $20 doesn't go a long way in this game, I put fun stuff on there like a competition flag, and a badge plate. We've now built our killer robot here. If you look on the components area, you can now see a list of all the components we've added as well as their status. Status is basically how healthy the component is. Because we haven't been in any arena battles yet, everything will be at 100%. If we are to participate in an arena battle, there's a good chance that some of these components may become damaged. At that point this number will drop below 100%. We can then select the item and click repair. For right now we'll just head into the controls. To change a control, you just click on it and press the key on the keyboard that you'd like to assign to that control. Alright, that looks pretty great now. We'll go ahead and click Save. Finished. Head out back to the main menu. Now I'm going to click on the Arena button. There's several play modes in the game. You have Practice Session, Tournament, Custom Challenge, and then Multiplayer and Head-to-Head. Practice Session is exactly what it sounds like. It lets you practice against a set of practice robots. The great thing about those is you cannot lose your robot, you can't create any damage, permanent damage, and you don't lose any money. The Tournament is the single-player campaign mode tournament. Custom Challenge lets you choose to set up your own personalized match against any of the tournament player robots and arenas. You can also change fun stuff like the time limit and things like that, which we'll go into here a bit later. For starters, we'll just dive into the tournament. The first level is this one, and it looks intimidating, especially against our robot here that's defended by nothing more than a flag and a badge plate. But trust me, this will work out real easy. We'll start by moving our very agile robot here behind the saw blades. This first opponent is pretty stupid, and you can basically kill it by running down the clock and getting it stuck on the saw blades. You'll hear hecklers complaining in the background, but pay them no mind. This method will work. Usually the saws won't destroy this opponent. It's the clock that will do that. But it'll all work out in the end. This first round is really the most time-consuming part of the whole process of winning this game. So to run down that 5-minute clock, you may wish to take that time to grab a snack or take a bathroom break. Once the clock is finally run down, even though no robots were destroyed, it'll put up a judge's decision thing up at the top. Because your opponent was stupid enough to walk into the saws, you'll find that the decision is in your favor, and you'll win that first $500 that you need. Now from here you can click play again. You'll notice there on the tournament that the next opponent is there. You don't want to tackle that one just yet because the same strategy doesn't necessarily work. What you want to do now is go into the custom challenge mode. Now that you have a little bit of money, play against the same character, put it in this arena, make sure you choose 1-minute time limit and that the include hazards checkbox is checked, and then proceed to play through in the same way that you did before. Make sure you wager as much money as you possibly can, which in this case is $500. You'll end up doubling your money, tripling it. You'll want to do this and follow this strategy until you get to around $15,000 to $20,000, and then you can meet me in the bot lab and we'll actually make a real robot that can defeat these characters. If my calculations are correct, you should end up with around $26,000 after you've won around 6 rounds or so that way. You'll want to regroup here in the bot lab, and then we're going to make some extensive modifications to default boot. First thing we're going to do here, you may have noticed that we have taken a little bit of damage on those rubber wheels from some accidents in the arena. There's no need to repair those actually, because we are just going to sell them. We're also going to sell our flag. Now we're left with basically just a block. So what we're going to do here is we're going to go ahead into the armor tab. We're going to finally add some titanium armor, which we can now afford. You can change the color over here to whatever you want. I'm going to keep it at yellow. And now I'm going to go with 4-inch surface mount wheels so that I can keep these attachment points on the side free for other things. Now we're going to install a double-sided axe over here and 2 hammers, one here and one over here. Then we're going to install 2 more hammers on the sides. And finally some tungsten steel spikes on the front. Now we're going to head into the accessories lab, add another CL3 battery. You can have up to 2 batteries in the game. Since I'm not using any air weapons, I'm not going to bother adding any supplementary compressed air, but I am going to install a diagnostic transmitter so I can see my opponent's health, a radio jammer just in case, and because it looks interesting, and a speaker. This is one of the most important components you can add to the robot, and I'll demonstrate this later. From here you can really fill the remaining slots with whatever you want. Of course, don't forget to change your controls again after you've added your new wheels and weapons. As you can see, default boot has now been transformed into an unstoppable war machine. Now we can continue on to the next tournament level, and I can show you what I mean here. I'm going to go ahead and operate the speaker at this time. From here you'll find you can use this robot to defeat pretty much all the opponents there in the game. It's just important to remember after each round to head back out to the bot lab and perform repairs. In case you forgot, you perform repairs by going over here and looking down at the status section for each of your components. You can click on it and press repair. It'll ask, do you want to repair this attachment for such and such an amount of money? Usually the answer to that will be yes. The only time that the cost to repair will be higher than the cost to replace is with your mobility. But in this case we have those surface mount wheels, so they really don't ever get damaged. Alright, let's move on to the level 3 competitor. As you saw here, it is possible, even with this unstoppable robot, to lose components. So I can't stress enough how important it is to head back out to the bot lab after each and every round to repair your damage. Also keep in mind that if you replace movable firing weapons, that you do need to go back to your controls and remap the controls for that weapon if you changed from the default. Alright, let's try level 4 here. As you can see here, one of the really only major drawbacks of this robot design is that even with 2 of the big batteries in there, it sucks your juice pretty quick. If you look down there at the battery meter in the corner. But the nice thing is that it has an alternator and it will recharge the battery for you if you sit still long enough. You can also use the speaker while you wait at minimal battery expense. And here we are at the last level of the campaign. Let's get started. And that's how it's done. After you've competed that last competitor, you get this little medal signifying that you have won Robot Arena and that you are a Robot Arena champion. It says, "Congratulations, you've defeated all the Robot Arena competitors. To continue playing, use custom challenges to select an opponent and an arena." And that's all there is to it. Robot Arena for Windows. I hope you enjoyed today's Channel 2012 first try walkthrough video. And be sure to stay tuned to the all-new Channel 2012 for the latest in reviews, guides, food, computers, general around the house, and other high-quality, high-definition uploads. Thanks for watching.